made. If you really want right, just hold on tight and I'll take you to the place to be. Do you know what today is?
It's our hidden history. Our hidden history.
Do you know what today is?
Our hidden history.
WD contract.
Time running, it's a maze. All the things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see you written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm hawking it, that if you will today,
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, follow me, to the Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Friday, to the Saturday. Then we go and keep it holy, we make it to the next day. Do you know what today is?
it's our hidden history.
Do you really wanna know? Well, I really wanna know, yeah. Cause there's a place so amazing with all the things I really wanna know, yeah. I've been driving all night, looking for the right turn to make all the change you made. If you really want right, just hold on tight and I'll take you to the place to be. Do you know what today is?
It's our hidden history. Our hidden history.
Do you know what today is?
Our hidden history.
WD contract.
Time running, it's a maze. All the things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see you written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm hawking it, that if you will today,
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, follow me, to the Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Friday, to the Saturday. Then we go and keep it holy, we make it to the next day. Do you know what today is?
it's our hidden history.
Do you really wanna know? Well, I really wanna know, yeah. Cause there's a place so amazing with all the things I really wanna know, yeah. I've been driving all night, looking for the right turn to make all the change you made. If you really want right, just hold on tight and I'll take you to the place to be. Do you know what today is?
It's our hidden history. Our hidden history. it's amazing. All the things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see you written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm hawking it, I'm hawking it. That if you will today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, yeah, 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 yeah. Follow me, yeah, to the Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, yeah, yeah, to the Saturday. Then we go and keep it holy, we make it to the next day. Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history. Looking for the right turn and make all the change you make. If you really want to ride, just hold on tight and I'll take it to the place to be, Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history, our hidden history. It's amazing. All the things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see you written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm hawking it, I'm hawking it. That if you will today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, yeah, 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 yeah. Follow me, yeah, to the Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, yeah, yeah, to the Saturday. Then we go and keep it holy, we make it to the next day. Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history. Do you know what today is? Time running, it's amazing. All the things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see you written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm hawking it, I'm hawking it. That if you
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome back to what? Our Hidden History. Radio show.
Yeah, starting with that already.
Oh my God. Hey, all praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. So today we have a very well unbiased panel today. My name is Captain Joel. This is
Officer Haim.
Officer Laquette.
Officer Jezreel.
Officer Yakin.
and Officer Yakin. Welcome, Officer Yakin, to the show. We have no other keen up.
That's right.
All praises.
So very well diverse scholarly panel.
So we're not a
Don't
black
forget.
Hebrew Israelite.
Don't
No.
forget Officer Jez, Native American.
Yes, Officer Jez, Native American.
Oh shit.
So today's topic is a stolen generation in every nation. So we're going to pick back off when we last left off with Bishop Nathaniel leading the charge and challenging the so-called rabbis in the Jewish community. And we're going to bring it back, like I said. Because what the rabbis and the so-called rabbis and the Jewish community failed to do was produce evidence. And when Bishop challenged them, they failed to produce biblical, scholarly, ethnological, archaeological, anthropological, as well as geographical evidence to show the claims that they say to be that the children of Israel. But we're going to go back to the book of Genesis, the beginning of cultural appropriation, racial or identity theft, as well as identity fraud. So let's go to Genesis chapter 4, all right? We want to start off with Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. And just to show you just the true nature of Esau. Esau is one that posts up, and never leaves. Let me show you what Esau is. Esau will ring your doorbell, knock at your door, sit down with you, have a meal, come back, rob your house, kill you, hide you, bury you in your backyard, then take all your photos that's on the wall. He would say, first, he's going to do an assessment. All the photos you say, okay, your photos are here, it's on the walls, your picture album, your photo album's right there. Okay, I see his driver's license, his birth certificate, his passport. Then he comes in the second time, and he comes with his minions, his thugs. Then he takes all the photos off of your wall. He goes and changes your birth certificate, changes your driver's license, changes your passport. Then he puts his pictures up there on the wall. Bruh. Then he puts his pictures on the driver's license, his pictures on a birth certificate or the passport. And then the neighbors come in later on, say like 5 years later, you have new neighbors coming to the block. They say, hey, George.
Right.
Knowing that your neighbor's not George. Right. They come in your house, they see you, they don't have any type of clue who's there before you. But now Esau has taken on the identity. That's what they have done, not only within our nation, but they appropriated every single nation. Every single nation.
It's like they take over. It's like they've been there for years. It's like they've been there already.
Yep. And becomes the norm.
Exactly. Hey, Cap, to add to that is when now these things are being revealed through the scriptures and to the hidden history we're getting into right now, why did you do that to these people? Did they do anything to you? No. So why did you do it? Because they was anti-Semitic.
Exactly.
That's the answer. We ain't caused no atrocities. We ain't do nothing to them. But they killing us, we still wind up being the enemy, the aggressor. But meanwhile, they're the one killing us.
Exactly. The victim has now become the victimizers. The oppressed have now become the oppressor. So we're going to start off at the beginning. Like I said, we're going to go back in the timeline to show you the beginning of cultural appropriation, identity theft, as well as identity fraud. And it wasn't only done to our people, but all nations have been appropriated, going back from the Horites, going to the ancient Egyptian captivity, the Persians. You see it on your movie. You see it in the Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston. You see it in with the Prince of Persia, the Prince of Egypt.
Prince of Egypt,
all the movies. It's all, or you see the movie with Eddie Murphy, Trading Places. And that's exactly what it is and what we're experiencing witnesses. You can't say anything. If you say anything, cancel culture. They'll cancel you in the media. They'll take away your funds, your bank account. They'll cancel your shows like they did with Kevin Hart. Let's go to Genesis. Genesis 4, verse 7.
I'm reading.
Yes, sir.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
So God is speaking to Cain. If you do as well, if you keep my commandments, shall you not be accepted with me? If you do not well, sin lieth at your door. Meaning sin will control, it'll rule over you, have dominion over your thoughts as well as your actions. Go on.
And unto thee shall be his desire.
And unto Satan shall be his desire. Go on.
And thou shalt rule over him.
And Satan shall rule over him. Let's speak about Cain. If you look at it in the regeneration, when Noah came on the scene, he had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Every nation from the beginning of times has regenerated through those 3 fathers or patriarchs. Esau, I'll say it again, Esau is the embodiment of the spirit of Cain today, the so-called white man.
That's
You're
right.
Caucasians, you're French, you're Dutch, you're British, you're Germans, you're Ukrainians, you're Russians, all red people. And not white people. We're gonna stop saying white. They're red.
They're red.
That's why in the South we call them redneck.
Rednecks.
Go on.
Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength.
Then thou tillest the ground. So we're seeing these things prophetically come to pass. As you know, the GMOs or genetically modified organism, the foods that we eat today is not the fruits or foods that we ate yesterday. Everything has been genetically altered or modified because of the earth. The pollution, the dirt is not producing the same nutrients in order for the plants to grow to its full strength. The fruits are a lot smaller than it was back during the time when we inhabited the land of Jerusalem. We had clusters of grapes. Took 2 people to carry a cluster of grapes. Now we got these grapes looking like real little raisins, shriveled up.
Yep.
So keep going.
A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
So it says a fugitive and a vagabond. Can we pull up the word fugitive? So a fugitive and a vagabond shall Cain be on the earth. And through Cain's descendants and him being regenerated back into Esau, he should be on this earth. A fugitive. Let's look up that definition. Okay.
Fugitive. Blow it up. Fugitive. A person who has escaped from a place or is in hiding, especially to avoid arrest or persecution.
So Cain shall be a fugitive, one that flees from prosecution, persecution, or arrest. And the reason why they say a fugitive and a vagabond, meaning they have not paid for their crimes ever since from the time of Cain, and the Cain regenerated back into the spirit of Esau. They have yet to pay for the crimes for the time period of the Greeks, the Romans. They raped, they robbed, they pillaged, they colonized. They have destabilized governments. They have overthrown bureaucracies. They have, created civil unrest. They have killed presidents, assassins. They have massacred. They have genocide. They have appropriated. They have taken different cultures and identity. They raped, they robbed, and they took the resources, but yet they sit at the height of judgment seat. They are Supreme Court leaders. They get judged. They sit in the UN, the United Nations, the European Union. So how can you prosecute somebody that stands on the top of the world that passed judgment?
Right.
But yet they can prosecute you, and they can say that, okay, this person in Africa, we're going to prosecute them for wars against humanity, for war crimes. But you yourself have created all the crimes within humanity.
Yep.
You are the virus of this earth.
Generation of crimes. Generations.
From Alexander the Greek, it says, and evils were multiplied on earth. Can you get that real quick? And Maccabees. Anything you guys want to say? First Maccabees.
Now, hey, we need to have a special music for Cap. He was just going off right there. He stopped. We was like, yo, where to pick up? Hey, you got to have that music ready. We need something fresh for Cap, you know what I mean? Like, Cap was speaking that truth right there. That's the stuff they don't want to hear. That's why we hate it. Most High said, the truth shall set you free. And the way we're bringing the truth, we're not bringing the truth through the eyes of Christianity. You know, we're bringing it thus saith the Lord.
Exactly. Get First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 7.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servants bare rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
You see that when a Greek came up in power and rulership, they say that in school, you're taught that Greek is the beginning of civilization.
Civilization.
No, the Bible says the Greek coming into power is the beginning of evils.
That's right.
Evilization. That's what we're going to call it. That's a new black word. It's not civilization. Evilization.
I like that. I like that.
The beginning of evil and wickedness. Because every nation was wicked. Like, everybody has some extent of wickedness, like I said, and going into idolatry. And they have, like I said, war crimes against the Israelites. But Esau has took it to the threshold to the point that nobody has ever seen on the earth. They said, whoa, what kind of person is this? We thought we were bad. But when Esau came on the earth, this was a race of people that has never been seen since the beginning of time. Now let's go back to Genesis, a fugitive and vagabond.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
So, fugitive, one that has not paid for their crimes, and a vagabond. You can put up that definition?
Vagabond, a person who wanders from place to place without a home or job.
A person that wanders from place to place without a home or job. That's what we call Esau a bum.
A bum.
They pull up and they never leave. That's what they do. They just pull up.
We, talking about we in there.
And we in there. That's what they do. They say, yo, where you come from? All right, we in there. Pull up.
They don't even make
Post
daily
up.
burgers. They don't even make daily
They don't
burgers.
even make burgers. They take your burgers.
They got, when they pull up with violence.
Yeah,
They don't pull up
exactly.
peacefully.
Exactly. So a vagabond, meaning a person that wanders from place to place. Esau, the so-called white man, doesn't have a homeland. From the beginning, and we're going to show you that, they has always stolen or acquired it through violence.
You got Micah 2?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Bring it up.
Let's bring that Micah 2, verse 2.
Micah chapter 2, verse 2, officer.
Yes, sir. It's just to show you, it's recorded in the scripture. It's the vagabonds, the covered fields with violence. And then, like you were saying earlier, Cap, they'll go in your house, take all your pictures down off the wall, change your driver's license, now they become you.
Exactly.
Micah chapter 2, verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence.
Right. So when they come to somebody's land, they covet it by breaking the law, and then they took it by violence. Read.
And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house.
See that? That's what Cap was saying earlier. They oppress a man in his house. Go in your house, took your spot. Go ahead.
Even a man and his heritage.
And on top of it, that not only they only take the house, they even take your heritage. That's something they did to us.
Yep.
Not only they took our land, stole our nationality and everything. Now they're the Israelites. They're the Jews now.
They're everybody.
They're everybody. Except what they really are, the devil, the Bible speaks of.
Exactly.
That's it, Cap.
Let's go to Genesis chapter 14, verse 3 now.
So real quick, Cap, to recap off this Genesis 4, the spiritual aspect of this is that Cain Esau has the spirit of Cain on him today.
Yep.
That fugitive and that vagabond. So this is what we want to take away from this.
Yes,
All
yes.
praises. Yes, sir.
So these are the attributes that we're going to see carried throughout all the generations. And why we see, like I said, the argument today is, the people that you see is not who they really are.
Exactly.
We look behind closed doors and go back into the records, the archaeology, you go, back into the anthropology, ethologically, you see that those people look different from what they're pushing in the media.
Right.
The media has the power and ability to portray or change everybody's perception of what really is.
Right.
And that's the danger. That's what they have done. But like I said, and the beautiful thing is we have books that record, document all these things because they believe that people, they have, like in America, for example, they dumb us down. They present us with entertainment, distractions, social media, TikTok, Instagram, while the Chinese, the Japanese, and all these other nations are thriving educationally. But with us, we fail to research, and that's why it's easy to dupe us and just give us a false narrative. It's easy. But when you begin to read, really study, and go into the books, you say, wait a minute, that's not exactly the story that's being read. And it's their scholars are the ones that's speaking to each other about the real history. But they never really counted on us waking up and reading and writing and acquiring these books that we have today.
Right. So the same fugitive and vagabond hid their identity through their education and their forced education.
Yep, exactly.
That's what a vagabond is. The vagabond hides.
Yep, exactly.
Genesis 14:3.
Yes.
Genesis chapter 14, verse 3. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the salt sea. 12 years they served Kedorlaomer. And in the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year came Kedorlaomer and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims and Ashtaroth, Karanaim and Zuzims, and in Ham, and the Emims in Shavi, in Kiriathaim, and the Horites in their Mount Seir.
And the Horites in their what?
In their Mount Seir.
So we want to focus on that. And the Horites in Mount Seir. We just reading people. All these tribes were of descendants of Hamitic descent. Ashtaroth, Rephaims. You have the Carnagims, the Zuzims, which were the giants. So these are all Hamitic descent. So now it says the Horites in their Mount Seir. Go on.
Unto El-Paran, which is by the wilderness.
So that's it. So can we pull up the Wikipedia? Yes, Horites. Put it up on the screen and enlarge it. All right, let's go down a little bit. Go down. Go down. Okay, 1 second. All right.
Cap, you know what word or part you're looking for?
You start from the top, the Horites. Get up. Okay. Right there. Let's go.
Hebrew Bible, Old Testament, and the Christian Bible. The Horites initially appeared in the Torah as being members of a Canaanite coalition who lived near the Sodom and Gomorrah. The coalition rebelled against Kedorlaomer of Elam, who ruled them for 12 years. Kedorlaomer attacked and subdued them in response. Genesis chapter 14, verses 1 to 12. Later, according to Genesis 36, the Horites coexisted and intermarried with the family of Esau, grandson of Abraham, through Isaac. Genesis chapter 25, verses 21 to 25. They were eventually brought under the rule of the descendants of Esau, also then known as Edom.
Keep going.
The ancestry of Seir, the Horite, is not specified. Some say Seir lived around the time of Terah, father of Abraham. He is also said to be a descendant of Hor, who is supposed to have lived around the time of Ru, and was a descendant of Hevi, son of Canaan, son of Ham.
Okay, that's all I want to know that. So it's specified, like I said, it's argued that, and we know, like I said, the Horites were Hamitic descent. Now let's get to the next article. Who were the Horites in the Bible?
Cab, I'm seeing something with Esau. I know you're going to go into it more, but a lot of time when doing the history with Esau, you'll find their tactic of how they take over lands, how they conquer. They like to infiltrate and intermarry and so forth and so on. That's how they get in real smooth, okay, and then they eventually make they move.
Yes, exactly. They did it with the Horites.
Yes.
They intermarried, then they assumed the culture, identity, and they become them. They did it in Egypt. They did it in Greece. Not Greece. Yeah, they did it everywhere.
Right.
Every generation they did it. In Greece they did it. We're going to go into that as well.
I'm sorry, if I may. I wanted to give an example of Esau trying to post up and never leave. You give me 1 Esdras chapter 5. You can give me chapter 5, verse 45. Chapter 4, verse 45 first.
4:45.
Yes. So this is during when Babylonians came into our land and burned our temple. Read that.
1 Esdras chapter 4, verse 45. Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees.
Right. So Esau at this time helped the Babylonians burn our temple. Right. Now jump over to verse 50, chapter 4, verse 50.
Verse 50. And that all the country which they hold should be free without tribute, and that the Edomites should give over the villages of the Jews which then they held.
Right, so during the Persian captivity, when we was coming back into our land, it was a decree that the Edomites, that Esau, should give back over our lands, because when they helped burn the temple, they went into our land and took over and set themselves up. But the decree was when we was coming back into our land, they had to give it back over, but they was trying to post up and never leave. All right, that's all.
Exactly. Let's get the next one. Who are the Horites? Enlarge it a little bit. All right. No, not that. Come on. All right.
The Horites were an ancient people group who had some dealings with Abraham's family and the Edomites. The little we know of the Horites comes completely from Scripture. The Horites are first mentioned in Genesis chapter 14, verse 6. They were defeated by the alliance of kings that also defeated the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah and took Lot and his family captive. The Horites are mentioned as living in Mount Seir at that time. The Horites are next mentioned in Genesis 36, where Esau's descendants are listed. Esau settled in the hill country of Seir, which was also the territory of the descendants of Seir, the Horite. It would make sense that if Seir was the leader of the clan, he would name the mountain area where he and his clan settled as Mount Seir. The descendants of Seir are given in some detail in verses 20.
So Seir was the leader of the clan. So now Esau inhabits, he was take that land to assume your name and become that person. Go on.
The descendants of Seir are given in some detail in verses 20 to 30.
All right, go down. Now go down a little bit. Let's go down. Okay, let's go down a little bit more. All right, right there. All right, go up a little bit. Go up. Check this out. Go up. Right there.
While Genesis does provide some detailed information about the descendants of Seir, the Horite, we know very little about the larger group of Horites, or even if there was a larger group. The etymology of the term Horite may have to do with those who dwell in a cave or hole.
You see, those that dwell in a cave. So initially, the Horites were known to dwell in caves and holes. That's why it says Esau not only intermarries within your nation, they take over your culture and they become you. Today, what do we call Esau? Cave dwellers.
Right.
Mount Seir initially wasn't their habitation. That's why it says a fugitive and a vagabond should they be. Even the very first land that they inhabited wasn't there. So us calling them cave dwellers, title doesn't even belong to them. And later on, they always had that claim that stay in the mountains, the Caucasus Mountains, cave dwellers. Go on.
It is possible that the Horites were cave dwellers, or that Seir himself was a cave dweller, so that the name Seir, the Horite, simply means Seir, the cave dweller. If this is true, then Seir may have been the first of the line, and as his family, clan grew, the description eventually took the force of a proper noun, much the same way that last names developed in English usage during the Middle Ages.
All right, let's get the book of Genesis 36, verse 1. So Seir, which was the leader or the head of the Horites, initially was cave dwellers. They lived in the mountainous caves, as you're going to see. Can we get a photo of it to see Mount Seir? No, actually, we're going to get there in a second. Let's go through a couple scriptures.
Genesis chapter 36, verse 1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who was Edom.
So Esau is the forefather of the Edomites. Esau, meaning Edom, meaning red. Esau, meaning waster away is he. So all the descendants that came from Esau today, so-called Caucasian, you're British, you're French, you're Dutch, you're Americans, you're Russians, you're Ukrainians, you're Uzbekistanians. All those countries are descendants of Esau. Now, let's jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom.
Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. I'll say it again. Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. But we just read earlier in Genesis 14 that Seir, the leader of the clan, dwelt in Mount Seir. They were the original cave dwellers until Esau later on married within their culture and assumed their identity as well as took their habitation.
Right.
And it's now today we know them as Caucasians, meaning cave dwellers living in between Russia, Georgia, and the Caucasus Mountains. That's where the Caucasian comes from. Now let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 12.
And also, Cap, that's the reason why the Mosai give us a law not to marry them.
Exactly. And we did marry them under John Hyrcanus, and what happened?
Got overthrown.
Got overthrown. The scripture says, never trust your enemy. And time after time after time, that's why they said, things written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of scriptures might have hope. If our ancestors knew the nature and the characteristic of Esau and how they assumed everybody's identity, they would never have married in or allowed Herod, or Antipater, right? Antipater Herod.
Yes, sir.
Marry into the Hyrcanus family. And assume, and that's the beginning of us taking and appropriating our culture and committing identity fraud and becoming us. Because we never followed the blueprint and kept them separate from us. God says don't do it. And that's how they became us. And to make things worse, John Hyrcanus actually forced converted them. Mm-hmm. So we gave them, and then you go later on, and then you go up into the timeline, and then we taught them in the Khazars.
Yeah.
So we gave them it. We gave our culture over to them. Damn. So Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 12.
Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 12. The Horims also dwelt in Seir before time, but the children of Esau succeeded them when they had destroyed them from before them and dwelt in their stead.
You see that? Read it again. Read it again from the top.
The Horims also dwelt in Seir before time.
So the Horims dated back to the Horites, or Seir. It said the Horims also dwelt in Seir before time, all the way back in the book of the Genesis, before Esau even became a nation. Remember, Horim was during the time of Genesis 14, when they was in war. They were descendants from him, but later on, Esau, years and years later down the timeline, they decided to marry him. And it says, but the children of Esau succeeded them. Go on.
But the children of Esau succeeded them when they had destroyed them from before them and dwelt in their stead.
Marry into the nation and then destroy them.
Took their names and their lands and assumed their identity.
Exactly. Took their, yes.
Micah 2 and 2.
Exactly.
There you go. Yep.
That goes to show you
and their heritage.
when Esau intermarries with you, they're destroying you.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And there's always an ulterior agenda behind them marrying to the family, and black athletes haven't yet realized that to this day. What do? They get their women, they marry you to their women, choose the most beautiful one of them, they train you what your likes and your needs are, and they say, all right, this is what his likes and needs, which every man's likes and needs. I want you to be this way because their woman is not exhibiting those same characteristics or attributes. So I need you to become the woman that their woman not being. And by doing so, I want you to find out his secrets, and then years later, try to talk him not getting a prenup. So once you do that, I want you to assume and take everything he has and bring it back to me. That's always been the oldest trick. Use the woman to overthrow them and then assume their position and identity and take their wealth, resources, as well as the land.
The hell is this?
And then put you in the grave and bury you 6 feet deep and have no memory of you in history books. And then write the history books and say, that was me.
Yeah.
Go on.
Cap, can we get an example of them taking over or infiltrating?
Yeah.
Get Exodus. Esther in the Apocrypha chapter 16. This goes back to Haman. Same thing during the Persian captivity.
You look at him; he's throughout the whole Bible.
Yeah, it's throughout.
Samson fell because of that.
Yep.
Yeah, you just said
Yeah.
Delilah, right? It's the same tactic.
Same thing.
Esther 16.
16 and 14.
Esther in the
You
Apocrypha.
can start at 13.
Esther in the Apocrypha, chapter 16, verse 14. For by these means he thought, finding us destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians.
Right. So the whole purpose of Haman because remember he was in second in command to the Persian king. But his whole purpose there was to do what? To overthrow the Persians, to bring in the Greeks, his people. Because Haman was what? He was an Edomite. So just like Cap is bringing out, it's all throughout the Bible, all throughout history of them infiltrating, intermarrying, and overthrowing.
If I may add something, officer.
It's set up, bro.
This was happening. Remember, Artaxerxes was the one who conquered Greece with the 300 movie. That was Artaxerxes.
Right.
So the Greeks never forgot what Artaxerxes did to them, and they started infiltrating and sending their men into Persia to take over. And then eventually Alexander came in, took them out.
Right, because we always have some type of compassion for Esau.
Exactly.
Verse 15. But we find
So
that
now,
That's it, yes.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
so if you go back to Deuteronomy, I want you to put up the definition, what it means to secede. Pay attention to detailed words. You got it? To secede someone.
Succeed. Achieve the desired aim or result.
Go down. Let's see. Okay, I like that one. Definition 2.
Succeed. Take over a throne, inheritance, office, or other position from.
To take over a throne, an inheritance,
Right there.
office, or the position from. So when the Bible says Esau succeeded them, they took over their throne, their inheritance, their culture, and their architecture.
And there you go right there.
Similar. Similar.
Oh, synonyms, go.
Go ahead.
Replace.
To replace.
Take the place of.
They became the Horites. They became seer. Go on to take the place of. Go on.
Take over from.
Take over from.
Come after. Follow. Supersede. Supplant.
Supplant.
Look at that, the next one.
They come with trickery. They come
Exactly.
with lies.
Exactly.
Displace.
Displace.
Oust. Remove. Unseat. Usurp. Step into someone's shoes.
Woo! Damn. So Esau succeeded the Horites just like Esau succeeded every nation and race of people on its earth. They succeeded. They took over. They stepped in his shoes and they became them.
And this is one of the reasons, Cap, like it's
Fugitives
so,
and a vagabond.
if you're not learned in the scriptures, Esau's throughout the Bible in disguise under a whole bunch of different names of other people. You know, so we can't really tell who they are if you're not in this book.
Exactly.
You know?
And there's a reason why the scripture says mystery, Babylon the Great,
That's
the mother
right.
of all harlots.
Yep.
And is this the man?
Yep.
Because how can you know which is the man and he is every man?
Exactly. Exactly.
Esau, so that's why it says mystery, Babylon the Great, because a fugitive and a vagabond, you can't really trace their steps.
Right.
They're always on the move. You call them ghosts.
Right.
They're here today, they're gone tomorrow, and they assume that identity. So now you try to prosecute him for this crime, it's too late now because he became somebody else.
Yes, right.
He's like Kanchi Sensei,
Yeah, yeah.
the copy ninja.
Yep.
Goyo Jutsu.
That's not me.
That's me. And that's how they're able to get away. That wasn't me. That was this race of people.
Yep. Yep.
Let's go. Okay.
With that saying, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled is to make everybody believe
He
he
did
doesn't
not
exist.
exist.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's not me, man.
It's not me, man. You're not me. Did we finish that? Go on. It says seceded. Start with where it says,
Genesis.
but the children of it's
Or Deuteronomy 2?
yeah, but the children of Esau succeeded them. Start from there.
Oh, yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 12.
Come on.
But the children of Esau succeeded them when they had destroyed them from before them.
So the children of Esau took the place, their inheritance, the culture, as well as the architectural design of Mount Seir. As you can see, the structures, which I'm going to show you next, it became the structure throughout history. In Rome, in Greece, Rome, Spain, and even America today. Go on.
And dwelt in their stead.
It said they destroyed them and dwelt in their place. Cultural appropriation, identity theft, as well as identity fraud. Read.
As Israel did unto the land of his possession, which the Lord gave unto them.
But the difference with Israel is our father's always been there. That's the difference. It was always promised to us prior to anybody ever being there. From the time period of Adam,
That's
we lived in Israel. So That was a known given heritage that was promised to us, that we always lived in a land. We were just coming back to our place. Esau, he had no dwelling place or any inheritance given to him. That's why I said you'll be a fugitive and a vagabond on this earth, and they do that through colonialization. They colonize, they explore, and then they destroy, and they become, and they consume. That's their nature. Can we get now the map? Let's get the next one. Mount Seir today. Where's Mount Seir? The article.
Esau's history is someone else's history. They don't have no history.
Exactly. So, today, Mount Seir is called in the Arabic word Jabal Ashara. Now, if you enlarge it.
Mount Seir, the importance of mountains.
Go up a little bit. I don't want that yet. Okay. All right, right there.
One of the first mountains written about in the Bible is Mount Seir. And the Horites in their Mount Seir until El Paran, which is by the wilderness. Genesis chapter 14, verse 6. The Horites were the aboriginal inhabitants of the area during the life of Abraham. El Paran was a city and harbor by the Red Sea.
Go down. No. Go up.
The next we hear about Mount Seir is in Genesis chapter 36, verses 8 to 9, where thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom, and these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir. One thing we need to be aware of is the
That's it. Go down. Okay, right there. That's what I wanted.
Mount Seir still exists today. However, it is known by its Arabic name, Jabal el-Shara. Rather than being a single mountain, the name Mount Seir refers to a mountainous region stretching from the Dead Sea, which lies between Jordan and Israel and the Gulf of Aqaba, at the northern tip of the Red Sea. Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 2 tells us that there was an 11-day journey between Horeb, also known as Sinai, via Mount Seir, to Kadesh Barnea on the border of Canaan.
Now, can we get images of today's Mount Seir? Or how it looked yesterday? Okay, put that on the screen. Can you enlarge it? Yep, so the people can see it.
Cap, they don't look no different from the way the
architecture.
Set up today here in America.
Exactly. And I want to show you the correlation, the parallels between the architecture. If you can pull up also in the back end, the architecture going back to Rome, Greece, Rome, as well as America, to show you how not only did they appropriate the culture, they assumed their identity, but they also took up their blueprint, the architect. So more pictures, cave dwellers. That's why it says Horeb was a cave dweller. They lived in the caves, and the Esau became cave dwellers later on from that time period when they lived in the Caucasus Mountains between Russia and Georgia. Caucasians, a man of the cave.
And when you look at these monuments and these archaeological monuments and so forth, a lot of these monuments and these things are still around, but they just under different names.
Exactly.
So don't think that it's gone and disappeared. Nah, they just changed the name.
Exactly.
To confuse the people.
Confuse the people.
Now, can we get some to the
Petra, right?
Huh? Petra, yeah.
Petra.
Yep, Petra. So that's why a lot of people think that the Edomites are no more in existence because of the Arabs took over. That's why it's called Jabal Ashara. The Arabs took over. They conquered it. They became them. So that's why it says Esau no longer in existence, and they was destroyed during the Babylonian period, or Obadiah, they say, because of the prophecy, which is not true. That's why I say people says that's not Esau. Esau's not the white man. The reason why you can't trace them, because they're fugitive and a vagabond.
That's right.
On the run.
They're always on the run. You can't chase somebody that's always on the run. And that's why there's so much confusion. You have Israelites within the community is always arguing, oh, the white man's not Esau. The white Esau is Japheth. Esau is the Arabs. Why do you think? Because they're fugitive and a vagabond. They're ghosts. You can't catch them. You can't find who they are. That's why it's called Mystery Babylon the Great. It's a mystery to who he is. Now, can you show me some architecture of Greece, Rome, as well as America?
And that's why Thessalonians says the man of sin must be revealed.
Exactly, exactly. So we're seeing it right there. You have in a picture Mount Seir, which originally was inhabited by Horam, or Seir, the father of Mount or that region. You have Greece, Rome, Spain, what is that? Germany, Great Britain, United States of America.
Hey, Cap. So even though Esau, they always on the run. They 10 steps ahead. They ghost. They always leave a little trickle behind of who they are, though, with the architecture.
Yep. So just look at the evidence and trace their steps back to the beginning. That's what you got to do. So just follow the crumbs. Yes, sir.
And that's the 7 heads right there. You look at it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Russia, Germany, and Great Britain.
You see?
Damn.
The 7 good, excellent observation.
Right.
So,
All praise.
all praise to the Most High. Exactly. So, if you want to find out who he truly is, you got to trace the steps backwards. You got to look at the crumbs. Look at the evidence that they left, because they always leave evidence, but it's not as clear in detail. You got to look at it, trace it back with a refined glass, a magnifying glass, and you got to take your times and go back. And we're going to trace the steps. Now, can you get me the next article? Let's go to Genesis chapter 36, verse 8. We're going to do a little bit of reading.
Genesis chapter 36, verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau.
So we show that. So we went to Deuteronomy 12. Why? To show you that Esau succeeded Hor, or Horims, the Horites. And they became them. They appropriated the culture, they assumed their identity, and they committed identity fraud. And they inhabit the land. That's why it says, read it again.
And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir.
In Mount Seir. Now we have a little bit clearer picture of the full story. Go on.
These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, and the wife of Esau; Reuel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's
and she bare
wife.
to the sons Amalek. And like I said, we want to focus on Amalek. We focus on Amalek for a while. If you look at the previous Out Hidden Histories, as well as, like I said, we open up the show showing you Bishop Daniel led the charge and challenging a lot of these Jewish rabbis, as well as the so-called Jewish community, and to show forth proof or evidence, biblical evidence. Show us your biblical evidence if you are the people that you say to be. Show us your archaeological evidence that you live in those regions. Show us the wall relics. Show us the wall mosaics. Show us the pictures in the catacombs. Show us anthropological evidence. Show us ethnological evidence. Show us archaeological, geographical evidence. Show forth your proof. Produce your cause. Show forth your strong reasoning if you claim to be the people that you say you are. But we could go to the Bible. We could go to the books. We could go to the records, the scholarly records. We could go into the archaeologically. We could go into the wall mosaics. We can go back to ancient Egypt. We could go back to Greece, Rome. We can go back to the Persian captivity. We can go back to Spain. We can go back to the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages. Right. We can go back and take it all the way today to show you who we are. But they can't show you anything. What do they tell you? They say that I am Yehudi. We are the true Israelites. That's all they got to say. They said, oh, it just lost in the thin air. Nobody knows. We can't. We don't have to show you who you are. Look at our power. We own the media. We own the banks. We own the TVs. We own the radio stations.
Bring it out, Cap.
We own everything. So who are you to argue? Truth. You're a nigga. You're 3/5 of a man.
That's right.
You're a slave.
That's right.
You're nobody.
That's right.
You're always made to be nobody. So who are you to challenge us, the ruling power? We control your finances. We control your job.
Bring it out.
But no, we can show the proof. And that day and age is done. That, like Bishop said, we have no more fear because we have faith.
That's right.
Now, let's
All
continue.
praises. Good job, IT. We need another truth music though. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a little
You know
more
what I mean?
dramatic.
Damn, a little bit more dramatic
Dramatic,
there.
man.
Thank you, IT. I appreciate you.
But that's
That was almost-
a step up.
Hey,
That's
they
a
gave-
step.
They gave Captain the Twilight Zone.
You know what I mean? But that's the fact. That's Cap. That's why we're hated. These things are not supposed to come out to the eyes of the public or the ears of the public, because this knowledge is what's gonna make us rise to be that nation. We're lost. We keep befriending the enemy. He's gonna come in, take your name, identity, and call you the worst, make you the worst of the earth.
Exactly. Let's continue on.
Genesis chapter 36, verse 13. And these are the sons of Reuel, Nahath, and Zerah, Shema, and Mizah. These were the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife. And she bare Esau Jeush, and Jalam, and Korah. These were dukes of the sons of Esau.
These were the dukes of the sons of Esau. Go on.
The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, Duke Teman, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kenaz, Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek.
Notice that these are the upper echelons of Esau. So these were what you consider today as your elite in society. You have what is called, you have people, they say, they have the secret societies, your Illuminatis, and then behind the Illuminatis, that's what we know of. Then you have the families that rules and controls the central bank, the banking system, and everything. They're your shadow government. They're your government within a government. And like I said, what they do is these are your dukes, pretty much. And I wouldn't be surprised if these are the same families regenerated today to just bring this whole thing to a closure and a conclusion. At the end of the chapter, bring the dukes back and let's bring them to a closure and let's decimate them from off the face of this earth. Go on.
These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Ada. Verse 17. And these are the sons of Reuel, Esau's son, Duke Nahath, Duke Zerah, Duke Shema, Duke Mizah. These are the dukes that came of Reuel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Bashima, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife, Duke Jeush, Duke Jalam, Duke Korah. These were the dukes that came of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir, the Horite.
Notice how they put the two together, because why? They're cohabiting in the same land. Go on.
Who inhabited the land of Lotan, and Shobal, and Zibeon.
Wait, did you guys catch that? Who inhabited the land of what?
Lotan.
What do you say?
You said the Horites?
No, the Horites inhabited what land?
Who inhabited the land, Lotan.
Wait, but before, they inhabited what?
Seir.
Seir. Showing you Esau.
They moved them.
Start to move them out the way.
Out the way.
Go on.
And Shobal, and Zibeon, and Anah, and Dishon, and Ezer, and Dishan. These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom.
In the land of what?
Edom.
The children of Seir in the land of Edom. So Esau succeeded them, and they moved them out the way before they was in the land of Seir. It said, these are the children. Read that last part again.
And they're calling themselves the Horites, the Duke of the Horites.
They took the whole identity.
Good. Read that again.
These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom.
Now, before it was their land, now they're in the land of Edom. Go on.
And the children of Lotan were Hori and Hemam and Lotan Lotan's sister was Timnah. And the children of Shobal were these, Alvan, and Manahath, and Ebal, and Shepho, and Onam. And these were the children of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anah. This was that Anah that found the mules in the wilderness as he fed the asses of Zibeon his father.
Keep reading a little bit faster.
And the children of Anah were these, Dishan and Aholibamah, and the daughter of Anah. And these are the children of Dishon, Hemdan, and Eshban, and Ithran, and Karan. The children of Ezer are these, Bilhan and Zavan, and Akan. The children of Dishan are these, Uz and Aran.
We're going to stop there. It's a lot of, like you said. So, this is show you Esau and Horites, and the Horites intermarried. They mingled in, like I said, you have the Dukes. They cohabited and living in the same land. Esau later on pushed them away, and they married within the family, and eventually they became the family. They became Seir, or they inhabited that whole region. So now, let's get the Jewish Encyclopedia. We're going to start with the Khazars.
Blow it up, blow it up. Yeah. It's small, so blow it up. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Hey,
What's going on, man? I ain't
real
hit no
quick.
bums yet, man. What's up? What's going on, bro?
Listen,
Brother.
if this truth,
Yeah,
if this truth wasn't coming out, you know, in abundance, all praises to the Most High for our leadership in IUIC. In another year or so, red would have been the new black.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Red would have been the new black. Everything would have been changed in the Bible, red. Judah is red onto the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's what you would have.
I'm red and comely.
Red and comely.
Damn!
Hey, the way the school system going, don't be surprised about 20 years down the line, Esau become Malcolm X. Esau become Martin Luther King. Esau, because this is their nature. This is the nature of the beast.
Correct.
Hey, and I agree with you on that because Esau became Shakespeare. They became
Yes.
King Arthur.
Yes,
Beethoven.
yes, sir.
Beethoven,
Yep.
Mozart, the Knights of the Realms.
They became
our fathers.
King James.
King James.
Yep.
Exactly. So you're right about that.
not
If you give it
far-fetched.
enough time, because remember, they say they're the fathers of rock and roll. They stole it for Chuck Berry.
Yes.
You have Wolf. All of those, all the musicians. Rock and roll came from us.
Damn, Cat. Now that you're on that point, I forgot the brother. There was a before Elvis Presley stole the way he
Mo.
the way he moved and sang and all that. He
They
got
don't
it from
like
a brother.
That was
I know you're talking-
no. Then he meet.
That was on Coming to America, right?
I think he met
Loving
James
you.
Brown. Was it?
No. There's a brother that he got his whole rhetoric, how he all that. He got it from a brother.
To be loved.
Yeah,
to be
all
loved.
that.
That's why they ain't like
to be
Elvis
loved.
when he first came out, because he was. They say, "Yo, you're a nigga lover."
Oh,
Because
wow.
you're moving like them and you're
got it from a-
moving and dancing like them.
Hey, if y'all can find that, not now, but if y'all can find that, the brother that Elvis Presley stole his whole gimmick.
Persona and all that.
Yeah. But all right, you want to start, Cap?
Yep.
Khazars, a people of Turkish origin whose life and history are interwoven with the very beginnings of the history of the Jews of Russia. The kingdom of the Khazars was firmly established in most of South Russia, long before the foundation of the Russian monarchy, by the Varangians. 855. Jews have lived on the shores of the Black and Caspian Sea since the first centuries of the Common Era. Historical evidence points to the region of the Ural as the home of the Khazars. Among the classical writers of the Middle Ages, they were known as the Khazars, Khazarins. Why did you
What
go out?
doing? What are you doing?
Just go back, leave it.
Come on, leave it.
Akazirs and Akatars, and in the Russian chronicles as Kawalizes and Ugri.
All right. Now we're gonna go down to the part with the highlighted section. So we just want to introduce you to the Khazars, or the Khazarians Empire. You have today. You might hear us speak in our conversation say that the Khazar Jews. I mean, there's always Khazarians, meaning they came from Cajun Bull and King. If you know the history, go back to our previous episodes. I forgot what it's called. The Israeli and the Nominals, I believe.
Yes, sir.
So you can go back to our previous episodes to get the history on that. So we're not going to dwell too much on that. I just want to touch this particular point.
All right. That's good. That's good. Taking a keen interest in everything relating to the kingdom of the Khazars, Hasdai begs the king to communicate to him a detailed account of the geography of his country, of its internal constitution, of the customs and occupations of its inhabitants, and especially of the history of his ancestry and of the state. In this letter, Hasdai speaks of the tradition according to which the Khazars once dwelt near the Seir Mountains.
Which the Khazars dwelt in the Seir Mountains. Let's get a picture of the Khazars that dwelt in the Seir Mountains. So what we read earlier are the same people that call themselves Jews, Ashkenazi Jews. They call them Hasidic Jews. They call them Sephardic Jews. They're all the same people. You have the Russian Jews. You have the German Jews. You have the Ukrainian Jews. Everybody that lived within an Eastern European area came from Khazaria. And after a while, you just forgot about them. You know why you forgot about them? Because they assumed the identity of other nations.
Right.
Yep. They even changed their names when they moved to
Yes,
the country.
they changed the name. The Khazars, we're going to go into that. The Khazars took on Spanish names. And they start speaking the language. They went to Spain, and they became your Spanish monarch. They became your explorers. They became your Christopher Columbus, your Diego Velazquez. That's who your Khazars are. So the point I want to bring out of that is that their history goes back, and it was confirmed all the way to Mount Seir, showing that they're not Jews. They have no cultural or racial ties to the Israelites. They've always been Esau, Edom, those descendants. Now I have pictures. Pick my images. Okay, you can take that, whatever. Just get the images I sent you. Thank you. Thank you. Right there. Yep. Got it? So that's what, like I said, our hidden history, which it was initially created to spread a light or shed a light on information that's not being brought in its school system. Because I used to be an educator. Look at them. These are your Khazarians, your Khazars, your Esau, Edom, which used to dwell in Mount Seir, and they decided to take root and inhabit the Caucasus Mountains between Russia and Georgia because it made them feel like at home when they first assumed they inhabited their first occupation of being a fugitive and vagabond after they left Jacob's quarters. So this is your Eastern European Jews, your Russians, your Germans.
Right.
Anything else I have?
Cap, these bastards looks like the same one that we see today.
Yeah.
Like, there's no difference in facial features.
No.
And how they dress. It's the same damn bastards.
It says they said, and they claim that their heritage goes all the way back to Mount Seir in the first habitation. They don't say Jerusalem,
Right.
or Israel.
Right.
There's no conversations or talk about that. And like I said, go back to Israeli and Israel and the nominals. There's many scholarly documentation showing that all scholars came to the same conclusion that they have no cultural ties to the Israelites, none.
Right.
Remember Arthur Koestler in the 13th tribe was
Exactly.
saying the same thing.
Yeah, and they know that. The problem is they don't want you to know that. They understand the power because me and Officer Jets was having a conversation earlier in terms of how great of a people black people are, in terms of the intellect that we possess is almost godlike level. To the point, Jets, you wanted to speak about the one brother and what he was able to do?
Yes. So, like Kat was just saying, we spoke about how our mental capacity, even in slavery, excelled Esau's mental capacity. Hey, bring up the brother Thomas Fuller. Just type his name in, Thomas Fuller. It'll come up. Thomas Fuller. So Thomas.
God's top G's.
Threw me off.
Yeah, that was going on.
Thomas Fuller he was a slave in Virginia. He was from Benin. Okay, Benin is over by Nigeria, over in Guinea.
Is it Levi, right?
He might, he might have been a Levite. But
Count. Let him finish.
You trying to let's? I'm on my best behavior.
Oh man!
Trying to throw me off.
Trying to get
No,
started.
I'm not gonna let you bring me back.
Yes, sir. All prison.
Thomas Fuller, you got it? Huh? All right, bring it up. Come on. Show you this brother's mental capacity that Esau couldn't even fathom his mental capacity of a genius he was. All right, watch this. Thomas Fuller, mental calculator. He was called a mental calculator. Says Thomas Fuller, let me get down to the point, also known as Negro Tom and the Virginia calculator, was an enslaved African renowned for his mathematical abilities. All right, go down. Watch this. It says, when Fuller was about 70 years old, William Hartshorne and Samuel Coates of Pennsylvania were in Alexandria, and having heard of Fuller's powers, sent for him.
Fuller's what?
Powers.
Top G's, top gods. Go on.
Sent for him. They asked him 2 questions, which satisfied their curiosity. First, when they asked him how many seconds there were in a year and a half, he answered each question in turn in about 2 minutes. 47,304,000. Second, when they asked how many seconds a man has lived who is 70 years, 17 days, and 12 hours old, he answered in a minute and a half. 2,210,500,800. One of the men was working out the problems on paper and informed Fuller that his answer was too high. Fuller hastily replied, "Top massa, you forgot the leap year."
Damn!
When the leap year was added in, the sums matched. Despite Fuller's perfect answer, it appeared to Hartshorne and Coates that his mental abilities must have once been greater. Let's get the quote they wrote. He was gray-headed and exhibited several other marks of the weakness of old age. He had worked hard upon a farm during the whole of his life, but had never been intemperate in the use of spirituous liquors. He spoke with great respect of his mistress and mentioned in particular manner his obligations to her for refusing to sell him, which she had been tempted to by offers of large sums of money from several persons. One of the gentlemen, Mr. Coates, having remarked in his presence that it was a pity he had not an education equal to his genius, he said, "No, massa, it is best. I had no learning, for many learned men to be great fools."
Woo-hoo!
So he didn't want Esau's learning. He already knew that they was gonna dumb him, with their learning. They try to dumb you down, yeah.
Exactly. Hey, and that's in slavery. That's with a mental cap that's placed on our geniuses. Think about it. If they was to unleash the true power, nature that lies within us, the intellects, if they was to and understanding that our full connection and our abilities will only come out when we connect back to this Bible, and that's why they try to keep us from who we are, and that's why they assume our identity. And they gave us Gentile names because they don't want us to be us. If think about it. They have over a 500-year, over a 400 to 500-year advantage over us, and look what we did in the 1920s, 60 years after the Civil War, and after we came out of slavery. It's crazy. 60 years. How do you tell me over 400 years of chattel slavery, bondage, and we came out in the 1920s? 60 years? And you tell me we built black thriving economic communities that surpassed the white man, and then they got jealous to the point that they got to bomb our communities. They had to kill us, and they had to put. Oh, I'm not there right now. You can put it back. So,
hey, Cat,
that's better though. That is better.
So think about it. We became doctors, lawyers, judges. We had our own airports. We had churches, grocery stores, banks. 60 years out of slavery. Damn. Oh my gosh!
Cap, still with the oppression, remember black codes, Jim Crow laws, all these things was in place to keep us, keep a hold on us, and we still came out of all of that and built those thriving communities.
We are the greatest people to ever walk the face of this earth, man. That's phenomenal. That's right. That is phenomenal. All praise to the Most High. Woof. Hey,
Can we get a
so
clap?
now,
Can we get a clap?
so yes, so now that was the introduction.
Shame on IT. Wake up, brothers.
Wake up, IT. Wake up, IT. I know it's been some time, but so that was just the introduction. Now let's get into class. So let's go. We're gonna can you pull up the article
Wait a minute.
of
You doing a bishop yeah or something?
1 hour introduction.
I didn't even get on my topic yet.
let's take the break right now. Let's take a break right now. All right, then we're
Oh,
gonna switch
praises.
over. So let's take a break, and we're gonna come back, Israel, and we're gonna go into the second portion. All right, of the class.
Oh, praise.
That's
All right,
the bishop
shalom.
yeah.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people.
It's you who don't know. It's you Afro-Syrians who don't know your history.
And going to the other side of India, you see the Dalits as well as the Siddhis. Same thing on the Eastern Hemisphere. Mass incarceration, police brutality, lynchings, convict leasings. You have
Brothers and sisters in South Sudan, your heritage goes far deeper than where you live. You are the children of God.
Jesus Christ
Ein Herz, das arge Ränke. Was sind
その頭と神の傾向は
Vamos poder suportar.
Les Français.
Laat je niet misleiden door filosofie van.
Shalom, Most High in Christ, bless you all. I'm Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Some time ago, many of you saw us at the Barclays Center, standing for what the Bible says, standing for truth, standing for righteousness. That's what we do. Most recently, the Jewish community, in particular the ADL, SPLC, have voiced their opinion that black people do not have freedom of speech nor freedom of religion to say they're Semitic. Neither to say that they're Jews of the tribe of Judah, belonging to the 12 tribes of Israel, which is according to 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 46 to 53. And unless we apologize and submit ourselves to these people's will, we have no place in society. Brothers and sisters, this is nothing but disguised racism from the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. This it got to stop. They follow the legacy of director J. Edgar Hoover, who said the worst thing to the United States of America is Negro unity. I think that's exactly how he said it. Black unity is a fear to the Jewish community. I wonder why. Black unity is a fear to white society. I wonder why. Is it white guilt? I don't know. But we can delve into the Bible and possibly we can all find out together. J. Edgar Hoover established COINTELPRO. He forbid the rise of a black messiah. He forbid any type of black community. Y'all saw what happened to Black Wall Street when we got together. They bombed us. And this is why I understand why many of you black men and black women don't stand up for one another. A lot of you are afraid. You are scared. But this group right here, we ain't afraid of nothing, all right? I want y'all to understand that. All the great black leaders that have risen up, J. Edgar Hoover had a hand in their demise. From Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, after them, Fred Hampton, Khalid Muhammad, Johnny Cock, even Hugo Chavez, who tried to help the black community. Always somebody was exiled or assassinated. None of y'all see nothing wrong with that. Y'all keep playing these people's game. Israel United in Christ is a Bible-based organization that teaches that blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians are part of the true 12 tribes of Israel. When you read Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68, we change lives, brothers and sisters, transforming boys into men, into husbands, girls into women, into wives, into mothers. That's what we do. Family is the core of any strong people. Like Marcus Garvey said, up, you mighty race. Up, you mighty race. God's commandments is the backbone of our holy people. That keeps us organized, that keeps us strong, that keeps us focused. Today they talk like what I'm talking, hate speech. Sure, you can rap and jigaboo around the stage and talk about drugs, murder, child molestation even. That's fine. But the second you talk about black unity, black family, Black love, hate speech, anti-Semitic. None of y'all see this. I know I'm expecting too much from you athletes, too much from you actors. Really shouldn't expect too much from you at all. But the average black man, the average brothers and sisters like myself, it's time for you and I to organize, get ourselves together, repent of our sins, and do according to the word of God as the Israelites. To say that we are the Israelites today or read a quote from the Bible that was written over 2,000 years ago, they call it anti-Semitism. Christianity is not a threat to society. Islam is not a threat to society. But to say that you're an Israelite, to wake up to your true identity, that's a threat. Woo, woo, whoa. And everybody plays victim. While we were at the Barclays Center, a so-called Jewish girl walked up. Do you want to hurt Jewish people? Are you kidding me? Do you go to acting school to make believe that you're always a victim of something? We're marching. We're walking. You run to us and ask us, do we want to hurt you, and start crying? Are you kidding me? This BS, this malarkey has to stop. Always playing the victim. I'm a victim, but I run society. Stop it. Foolishness, total foolishness, all right? Brothers, sisters, we must unite as a people. We must come together as the 12 tribes of Israel. When you read Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads, gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. See, you've never seen that. You've never seen black people organized like you've seen us. But understand this, you are that nation that no one desires. They want to use you. They want to marginalize you. They want to abuse you. They want you to entertain them. But the second you talk about coming together with each other in love, according to the word of God, like 2 John verse 6 says, this is love, that we keep the commandments, threat. That's anti-Semitic. That's hate speech. Hate speech. That's what they do. Now I've sat back and I've watched the ADL. I've watched the SPLC castrate black men in the entertainment world, in the entertainment industry. Now, whether you're an actor, whether you're a musician, athlete, comedian, whatever, okay, they watch you destroy one another. And you sit back and let it happen. This is a new day, brothers and sisters. This is a new day. The Israelites of Israel United in Christ, we stand for the word of God. So if something is voiced, said, or done based on the biblical text, and your evil Jewish organization or whatever organization you got that's evil, try to humiliate black people and Latino people, you will see us. You will see us. And trust me, you have not seen our full strength yet. These evil groups have lied on us, slandered us, said that we have murdered people in New Jersey. And I got video of the FBI and NYPD saying, we know that those weren't Israelites. But what do Jewish organizations do? When they tweet, lie, lie, lie. The same lies from the 1400s, the same lies from the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, same lies. It's the same lies. Brothers, sisters, they despise black people. Understand that. Oh, did I mention that Jesus Christ, a Jew of the tribe of Judah, of Hebrews 7:14, is a black man? When you read Revelation chapter 1, verse 14 and 15. Oh, did I mention that the angels are black, according to Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 13? Did I mention that the Jews are black, according to Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2, King James Version? Did I mention any of that? Oh, and if you got questions, brothers and sisters, if any of you got questions, call us. My contact number's on the screen. Just call us. Stop reaching out to Christians who don't know the Bible. Stop reaching out to Muslims who don't know the Bible. They don't know what the Israelites teach unless they study us. But you're always going to third-party places. Let's have a question about the Israel. Oh, I know. There's a Muslim over there. Let's ask him. Oh, look. There's a pathetic Christian over there.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right. We're going to go into the second portion of the class. And like I said before, I know Officer Jets wanted to bring something out.
Yes, sir. The scriptures say prove all things. So earlier we brought out that Elvis Presley. Remember we was talking about how Esau, they took identity and so forth. Like Cap said, they became Mozart, they became Beethoven, they became Shakespeare. And even up to today, we wanted to show you how Elvis Presley, Edomite Elvis Presley, how he took on this persona of a brother who he stole his whole gimmick. All right, watch this. Play the video. See, it says Otis Blackwell, the original man, Elvis Presley imitated.
Yep.
Play that.
They would play the song through, yeah. And, well, they showed him the song, and
Elvis, they would play the song through, yeah.
And he recorded the tune, I suppose.
Now, we were talking about this afternoon. Is it true that when he heard you performing the material, that he would imitate your style when he recorded the song?
Well, they did come out very close to the demos that we did.
Yeah. And did you feel funny about him imitating so closely what you were putting on tape, or not?
Well, no, I felt a little funny the first time, and then after he sold 4 million, I didn't.
Yeah, it takes the sting out of it, I guess, sure.
How long is it? Yeah, skip ahead.
And if you can't come around, at least this telephone, don't be cruel.
Hey, pause it. Hey, you see how he's singing?
Yeah, the swag.
Wow. Swag, the whole
yeah. That was the swag. That was the swag. Hey, shout out to Brooklyn, New York, man. That brother's from Brooklyn, New York,
Yeah?
bro. Hell yeah. Yes,
Okay. But to show you, Elvis Presley stole this man's whole swag, man. So what people is raving about with Elvis Presley, oh my God. No, that came from a black man.
Proving what Captain been bringing out from the beginning of the show, that Esau is going to come through and take everything you got.
And assume.
And get in your steed.
Right.
That's it. All right, Cap.
All right. So, let's get the article with Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart criticized for allegedly saying Egyptians were black. Critics launch online movement to shut down his upcoming show in Cairo.
So, Kevin Hart was criticized for saying the Egyptians are black.
Okay.
The Israelites were criticized. You have Deshaun Jackson. You have Ice Cube. Nick Cannon. Who else? Wally. Some other names.
Kendrick
Lamar. So everybody, anytime you try to reclaim some type of identity, even though we're not the Egyptians, it's always been factual that the ancient Egyptians were black. That's not what media shows, or that's not what Hollywood shows, but the books as well as the archaeology and the war relics shows that the ancient Egyptians has always been an African race. If you look at Egypt, where's Egypt located? Africa.
That's right.
Like today, where is Israel located? Northeast Africa. That's why they constructed the Suez Canal and divided the lands from each other, so that way they could keep the deception going, to show you that, oh no, Israel's not part of Africa, even though we walked from Egypt to Israel, and we walked from Israel to Egypt. So there's always been a correlation that actually Israel was used to be called the land of Canaan, where Hamites used to live. All right, let's go on.
The comedy box office star is currently globetrotting on his reality check comedy tour. On December 9th, he announced that he will be bringing the show to Cairo, Egypt. The performance is scheduled to take place at the Cairo Indoor Stadium on February 21st. It will mark the comedian's first time doing stand-up in the ancient city known as the home of the pyramids of Giza. Go down. While Hart is finishing up the North American leg of the junket, he is already being slammed by fans in Africa for an alleged joke. According to the Middle East Eye, the entertainment mogul is accused of saying that the ancient Egyptians were black. As a result, many have called for his upcoming show in Cairo to be canceled and have expressed disdain for the actor through hashtags such as Kevin Hart is not welcome in Egypt.
So because Kevin Hart, and this is the thing, it's just like you have Ingrid Lawrence says Lauren Ingrid said to LeBron James, shut up and just drivel. It's the same thing concerning Kevin Hart. They says, shut up and just entertain us. Make us laugh. Don't speak on any political issues or go into any type of factual history that points towards the truth. Feed us lies. We want the lies that we have pushed throughout society. Nope. Don't go and say ancient Egypt is black. And guess what? We're going to stand up. We're going to defend our brother. If nobody else will defend it, the Israelites will defend it. That's why we're defenders of the truth.
That's right.
Defenders of the faith. Anytime you challenge us when it comes to historical knowledge, we're going to challenge you and we're going to show you. All right?
Look at the hashtag they have on there. In the bottom it says, you aren't welcome to Egypt. Egyptians aren't Africans. We're the real builders of the civilization.
Wow.
No one else. The Afrocentric is just a lie. They're liars. Egypt is our land, not the Africans.
Okay.
Oh, you just gave us fuel.
Okay, you just gave us fuel.
You just gave us fuel.
You want that smoke? We're going to give you all that smoke.
Bring it out.
Let's go to Egypt now. So now let's get the next clip. Let's get to the next clip with Richard Pryor. You're going to rule the day you made that statement. Play.
Hit the play button.
Professor! I got it open! Good heavens, man! Great Scott, we've discovered the fountain of all knowledge of Egypt in the entire world. Do you realize the importance of this moment, Smedley?
Yes, I do.
Do you see the brilliance, the untold years?
I see it, sir.
Oh,
sorry.
That's his medicine. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Slide. Look! What is this?
See. Says, Cannot. This is the elixir of life, sir.
The elixir of life?
The cure for all diseases. Wait. See. Wait.
Give it to me.
Inscription on the bottom.
Give it to me. Give it.
Open at other end.
Lumix.
This can't be, man.
What?
You know what this is?
What is it, Buddha?
It's the book of life.
Book of life?
In the beginning, when man arrived on Earth, the black gods did leave their spacecraft, and they walked, and they named the beasts of the sea and the animals of the land.
Heavens.
And man in his blackness did walk the earth, making medicine.
Medicine?
They discovered type. These were all black people got down. Wait a minute. There ain't nothing in here about whitey. This is ours, Jack. Wait till the brothers hear this.
Buddha.
I'm gonna get this book out of here, baby. This tells the real tea. Check this out.
Control yourself, don't you see?
What you mean, Jack? Look at this here. Black people started the music and the brain surgery back in the year 3 BC.
Yes,
Man, they was getting down. This is it, brother.
Yes,
everybody gonna know about this. We can change the history. Civilization will be changed.
By all means.
Yeah, this is gonna be it.
Get the bulldozers. There's nothing here.
But.
Shut up. Good heavens, time for tea, eh? What?
All right.
Just like Esau.
So even though, like I said, Richard Pryor did it in humor, they always said he was before his time and put things out there that people would normally not catch on. He says, this is the book of life. What is the only book of life that people know of? He didn't say it's the book of the dead. Mm-hmm. He didn't say the 42 negative confessions of Hammurabi. He didn't say this is the Gilgamesh epics. Right. There's only one book that's known as the book of life, and that's the Bible. And it says in the beginning. What book says in the beginning? The Bible. He says the black gods. And it says, let us make man in our image. That's what it's going to. So he was trying to hip us or trying to educate us in a sense of humor because you can't do it otherwise. We don't have a voice in this country. So he tried to sneak it through on the tip so that people want to really catch on. But those that are awakened, they'll be able to see spiritually what he's talking about. That's why we're able to play this clip today. So now one thing you're going to notice about ancient Egypt is we're not going to go too in depth in terms of the dates. And the reason, can you get me the next book? Now let's go into our books. Champion of the Faith. If you try to figure out the chronology of ancient Egypt from its ascent to its descent, it's almost impossible. So this is Champion of the Faith. And to figure out the timeline, and because you had what is called a librarian or a scholar during the Ptolemy dynasty, when the Greeks came up in power, you had a scholar named Manetho, which was hired in Alexandria, was responsible for gathering the records and putting it in chronological order, and he's the one that screwed up the whole timeline. To the point that myself, as well as other deacons and brothers, we tried to sit down and put together the timeline. It was a headache. It was almost impossible, to the point that we say, you know what? Forget about it. We're just going to leave it alone. Now, this is Champion of the Faith. Let's get the next page. 178. Let's go to the highlighted part, please.
The Exodus of Israel. Blow it up. All right, go over. Move it over. That's good. The Egyptian chronology is such a vexed and disputed question that it is absolutely impossible to fix the date of the very keystone of all the schemes relating to Egypt anywhere between BC 5702 and BC 2717.
Hey, honestly, I can't remember. We was talking about that. We was trying to figure out the timeline, and you was like, yo, I got a headache. To the point that I was trying to figure out the timeline. My head was throbbing so much. I said, you know what? It's not even worth it. I said, we're just going to go with the Bible.
Even Esau don't agree.
Yeah.
They all have their own idea of what happened, and then some of them even insert spaces of time just to fit their own idea of what's going on.
Because some people say the Exodus in the 1200s.
Yeah.
Some people say the Exodus in the 1500s. The 1200s will correlate with Ramses. Then it says 1500s Moses.
Yeah.
It's too many unknowns. So that's showing even the scholars are vexed and says in discomforted question that it's absolutely impossible to fix the date of the very keystone. Now let's read on.
A period of nearly 3,000 years, while the data from which the chronology is compiled is altogether untrustworthy. Mr. Poole assures us that Manetho's list is in a very corrupt condition.
Manetho's list is very corrupt condition. That's why nobody could really get the timeline or the chronology of ancient Egypt. And this to the point, like I said, I'm going to go in a second. I'm not going to go too far in depth. I'll let you know what I'm talking about. But Manetho was during, like I said, the Greek Empire. He was a librarian in Alexandria under Ptolemaic dynasty. So the Greeks are the authors of confusion. That's why this is evils will multiply in the earth. That's a part of the evil, creating confusion. Babylon, land of confusion. They corrupt everything. They're a virus. Everything they touch, they infect. So now, let's go to Genesis chapter 12, verse 10. I want my next book, Josephus. Make sure everybody that you have Josephus. Now, not everything is 100%. Like I said, we do make sure anytime we read the books, we filter it to the Bible. It has to. If it's not filtered to the Bible, then it can't be substantiated. Genesis 12, verse 10.
Genesis chapter 12, verse 10. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there. For the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Verse 13, say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her, and commended her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house.
So, like I said, you can read the rest of the history. I'm not going to go all the way into it, but the reason I wanted to point that out, Abraham's first ascent into Egypt because of the famine. So we always sought refuge in Egypt because they were the biggest empire during that time period. And they sought refuge for food, for storage. All right, so Abraham went into Egypt. Let's go to Josephus, show you some of the records that he obtained throughout history concerning Abraham and when he went into Egypt. Because people will say that Egypt is the foundation or the fountain of knowledge. From Egypt comes the Dogons and all of them. From Egypt comes arithmetic, science, mathematics, astronomy, everything comes from Egypt. You have the Kemetic or the Kemetic community always glorify Egypt for their, like I said, the Greeks to Esau is the civilization or one of the great civilizations of all nations. Now to black people, Egypt is one of the great civilizations of all nations. So the Kemetic community glorifies ancient Egyptian civilization because of that, and they said these are the most wisest people on earth. But we're going to hip you to something what Josephus recorded. Let's read that.
Josephus. For whereas the Egyptians were formerly addicted to different customs and despised.
Next page.
And despised one another's sacred and accustomed rites, and were very angry one with another on that account. Abram conferred with each of them, and confuting the reasonings, they made use of everyone for their own practices, demonstrated that such reasonings were vain and void of truth.
So in Abraham's reasoning, he told that your reasoning is vain and void of truth. Why? Just like Solomon, God gave Solomon the wisdom of everything. He made him know the beginning, the middle, and the end of times. The sciences, going into heliology, he's going into botany, the science of plants and astronomy, everything, circulations of time. So just like Solomon, all of our fathers had infinite knowledge that was given to them by the Most High. That's why it says he found out all the way of knowledge and is given it to, give me that real quick, right. In Baruch chapter 3. And it's showing you the wisdom that was passed down to Solomon. That's why we was able to challenge the other nations.
Baruch chapter 3, verse 36. He hath found out all the way of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob his servant.
So he found out all the ways of knowledge and given it to Jacob his servant. Now, can you get me Wisdom of Solomon 7? So everything concerning creation, everything that goes on in this earth was given to Israel. We knew that the earth was round. We understood astronomy. We understood the circulation of the planets and the stars and everything like that. Let's read that.
16?
Yep.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 16. For in his hand are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made, and the operation of the elements, the beginning, ending, and midst of times, the alterations of the turning of the sun, and the change of seasons.
So he showed them the alteration and the turning of the sun, how the sun circulates around the earth axis and not otherwise, that the earth is the center of the universe. We always knew that and understood that. It's always been documented and recorded in our writings. We understood the alterations and the turning of the suns as well as the seasons, that there was 4 seasons. The Bible records that. That's why our high holy days are all seasonal, based upon the moon.
That's right.
Go on.
The circuits of years and the positions of stars.
We understood the circuits of years as well as the positions of stars. That was well known amongst us. Go on.
The natures of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts.
We understood the natures of living creatures as well as the furies of wild beasts. Read on.
The violence of winds and the reasonings of men. The diversities of plants.
Psychology, botany. Go on.
and the virtues of roots.
Read.
And all such things as are either secret or manifest, them I know.
So now let's go back. So we have knowledge of all things. That's why Abraham was able to counteract their argument, saying that, yo, no, your reasoning and your knowledge is foolish. Because we understood God gave us everything. He found out all the ways of knowledge and gave it to Jacob. Now let's go on.
Whereupon he was admired by them in those conferences as a very wise man, and one of the great sagacity when he discoursed on any subject he undertook. And this not only in understanding it, but in persuading other men also to assent to him.
So we don't have a full, well-rounded picture of Abraham, but that's why Josephus, he said, no, listen, most sides go too in depth, but we know the character of Abraham and that he was a friend of God. So think about it. Abraham is a friend of God. You think that God was communicating these things to him? You think God was not only, that Solomon was the only one that was communicating all the ways of knowledge and wisdom that was given to him, the circuits of time, the alterations of seasons, the suns, the circuits of the stars, the roots, the plants,
all that,
the psychology of men, the intent, the deep intent of men, the theories of animals and wild beasts. You think Abraham didn't know that? He was the father of nations. So Abraham, you look at it, he was participating in a debate. And he was able to wow and overthrow everybody with his wisdom and knowledge. And that's why the scriptures of Deuteronomy says this should be what? Give me that real quick. In Deuteronomy chapter 4.
4 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this is a great nation. This great nation is a wise and understanding people.
So that's why it says Abraham was wise. Because why? God gave us all the wisdom. He found out the knowledge and wisdom and gave it to Israel. Now let's go on.
He communicated to them arithmetic.
But I thought the Egyptians were the beginners or the originators of arithmetic, mathematics, your science. Go on.
And delivered to them the science of astronomy.
Deliver unto the Egyptians the arithmetic as well as the science of astronomy. We understood that. The difference is understanding, we didn't worship it. What we understand, we don't worship because we understand that God is better than the things he created. He's above these things. The other nations didn't understand, so they made idols and gods out of stars, the sun, the moons, the planets. And today you women practice astrology. What's your sign? I'm a Taurus. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm a Cancer, sister. Oh, we're made to be together. Oh, you're this person. Go on.
Yeah, Cap. Hey, this is heavy because the book records the evidence of exactly what you're saying. Abraham was a friend of God, right? Could we just get Genesis 1,
yes,
verse
sir.
14 real quick?
Yes, sir.
To show you this was the astrology. God communicated this with Abraham. Abraham knew what was going on. God made him see the times. Read that.
Yes, sir.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
So that's your astronomy right there. God already had that in place. We understood that came from our God.
Exactly.
The Egyptians did not acknowledge our God. They had their own gods.
Yep.
Yes, just to back up further about the wisdom that the Most High gave us, get Daniel, book of Daniel, chapter 1, verse, you start at verse 3.
Daniel 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Daniel chapter 1, verse 3. And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel and of the king's seed and of the princes.
Right. So this is during the Babylonian captivity when they took us, brought us into Babylon. So what happened was the king of Babylon, King Nebuchadnezzar, he took some of the king's seed. Go ahead.
Children in whom was no blemish.
Children beautiful, no blemish.
Right.
Ruddy. Go ahead.
But well favored.
But good looking. Read.
And skillful in all wisdom.
Skillful in what?
In all wisdom.
Skillful in all wisdom. Read on.
And cunning in knowledge.
Cunning in knowledge. Skillful in knowledge. Read.
And understanding science.
And understanding science. This is Daniel, Meshach, Abednego, Shadrach. Okay, so let you know, this knowledge and understanding was passed down to us, man, from our forefathers, because we understood science, we understood all types of knowledge, elements, we understood all these things. All right, read on more. Go ahead.
Yeah. And such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace.
Right, because they understood etiquette, to be around authority. They knew how to carry themselves. Go ahead.
And whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans.
Right. So now going back to the book, understanding that our forefathers always had the knowledge of science, understanding science. They always had that. They were always skillful in all manner of wisdom. Why? Because it was passed down from our forefather Abraham, passed down to King Solomon, even before Abraham. We got all that knowledge from the Most High God, man. All right?
Exactly.
Hey, real quick, I don't want to jump the gun, but we lost that knowledge because when we stopped serving God how he intended us to serve God, he started letting that come to our demise. We were in captivity in those lands. We lost battles. Our heritage was taken from us. Right. You understand? So we forgot that understanding because we were under the hands of these nations that hate us. You know?
Right. Exactly. All right, let's go back to the book.
Says, he communicated to them arithmetic and delivered to them the science of astronomy. For before Abram came into Egypt, they were unacquainted with those parts of learning. For that science came from the Chaldeans into Egypt, and from thence to the Greeks also.
And to the Greeks also. They weren't the mothers or fathers of civilization. Now, Abraham, was he white, Caucasian? Let's get some of the wall relics with Abraham. So you can find this in the book called The Catacomb. And those of you that don't have it, we should all have it by now. This is the Latina catacombs. They was found. So this is the book called The Unknown Catacomb, for those of you that don't have it. And this is the unique discovery of early Christian art. This is early Christian art.
The real ones.
The real Christian art.
That's right.
And the Latina catacombs. So let's go into the book, let's go into the records, and let's see our forefather Abraham and what he looked like. It's our hidden history for a reason. This is hidden for us. It's a mystery. Let's enlarge that. Let's let the people see. So at the top, this is Abraham, and who do you think is at the bottom? Isaac. Him about to sacrifice him. What color is he? Black. What color is Isaac? Black. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Let's go to Isaac. Yep, Abraham. Black. Look at that. Negro. Let's go down. Look at that. Look at that fro. Black. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Damn.
Hey, look at the contrast of the color between the
exactly.
garment.
It was burned, my brother. No. It wasn't burned. You've been smoking too much crack. That's the problem. You've been burning. It's not burned. You've been burning.
That Christianity crack.
Yeah, you've been smoking that Christian crack. And it's went seeping down to your brains. It made you stupid. Let's go to the next picture. Let's see. Yeah, look at what they try to do.
Yeah, blow it up.
You bastard. Who's that? Oh, Abraham. What is he doing? Go to the left now. What is he doing? He's about to sacrifice Isaac. When you look at the, let me see what page that is. Now let's go to Abraham. That's the what? Remember, the angel replaced it?
Right.
With the ram.
With the ram, exactly. Now let's go back to Abraham. You was gonna say something?
I said you could see his nose and his lips.
Yeah, let's go.
Look at it. Come on.
Look at that.
Look at that, man.
Look at him. black nose.
Yeah, woolly hair. Look at the
woolly,
fro.
Yeah.
black lips.
You guys line up and everything.
Look, woolly hair. Come on, man. Look at that lineup. Yo, look at that fro. I think it's perfectly picked out, unlike some brothers I know of.
I know, right?
Fro is discombobulated, out of place, all over the place. Look at that. Black. That's a brother right there. So these are mosaics of Abraham that they try to keep hidden from us. So throughout the history, we're going to bring out all the records. You can't hide Esau. I love it. All right, now let's go.
And also, to our audience, keep in mind, we are re-educating ourselves. Just like Cap said earlier, we're not going to say white anymore. We're going to say red. And it's probably going to take us a little while to come out the black either, because that's, the negative description of the brown people. His Christ's color was as bronze burnt in a furnace, which make him a darker shade of brown. But we've been prone to saying the word black, and when we say black, with all that we've been teaching, we are talking to that dark brown color, all right? So Lord's will, we'll get into the habit of saying that dark brown, but that blackness we talk about is that dark brown.
All right, Israel. Look, we got a lot of people on the chat here. Let's get those likes up ASAP, Israel. Let's get the likes up. Okay, we got, 688 people on. Let's get 600. Oh, we went to 692. Let's get those likes up. All right?
All right.
One click of a button. That's all it takes.
There's only 93 likes.
Let's go to Psalms 105, verse 17.
Psalms chapter 105, verse 17. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant, whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron, until the time that his word came. The word of the Lord tried him. The king sent and loosed him, even the ruler of the people, and let him go free. He made him lord of his house and ruler of all his substance, to bind his princes at his pleasure, and teach his senators wisdom.
And teaches what?
Senators wisdom.
So now we're having two different accounts. The first count, Abraham taught all the Egyptians arithmetic, science, the science of astrology, reasoning, and monotheism. So think about it. He taught their senators wisdom. Don't you see what's happening right now? From Abraham to Joseph, down to the lineage, even from Moses. So there's always been a connection with our fathers and the wisdom that they always were known for, and them sharing the information all throughout time. We have always known to be a wise and understanding people. So Joseph likewise taught the senators wisdom. Can we get to Joseph? Now, what did Joseph look like? Now, one thing is, like we were saying earlier, it's a little bit difficult to find out the records whether or not. They say that, how do you know Joseph exists? Can you show us any type of archaeological or scholarly proof, any type of evidence or war relics showing that Joseph lived in Egypt? Now, because of the timeline, like I was saying, there is one person, one viceroy that was second in command under Egypt that I'm not going to give you the name because, like I said, we don't want to look too deep into things because of the timeline, and people could argue or refute it. So we're just going to put it like this. There was one recorded documented history on the stones. I'm not going to say what stone it is again. And they say that this viceroy was second in command, and he had a dream, and in the dream, it told him about a 7-year famine. So from there, he created grain houses, many different grain houses that was built around where he lived in Lower Egypt or so. So they're saying that was way before Joseph's timeline. But like we said, Esau manipulates history. They could say that was during this time period when it wasn't. They could change things around, but that's the only documented recorded history that was placed on a stone that the Greeks actually got hold of. So you know what happens when the Greeks gets hold of things. Mm-hmm. So now, what we are going to show you is another war relic that they try to hide from us. Now, this is from the book Jewish Civilization. It's at the bottom, so I'm going to leave it there. Jewish Civilization. Can you pull that up?
Oh, this Our Living Bible.
Oh, it is? Okay, yeah. Corrected. Our Living Bible. So this is from the book Our Living Bible. Okay, yeah, this book right here. All right. Can you enlarge it? Damn. Come on. All right, bring it down. Can you get the picture? Thank you. All right. Look at that. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity, blackity, black, y'all. Look at that. I'm black and comely.
All praises.
Look at that. Can we zoom in? Can we zoom in on Joseph, please?
Just Joseph.
This Joseph. Let's get that beautiful black skin tone. Stop playing with us. We ain't your average Negroes. We ain't no 3/5. We're the Israelites. We know who we are.
That's right.
We know our roots. And we can read, master. We got faith and not fear, like the bishop states.
That's right.
So Joseph overseeing the second over Egypt, over the house, and he taught his son his wisdom. Now let's come out of it a little bit, and let's see the people that he's commanded. All black people. Look at that. All black people. So what are we talking about? You canceling Kevin Hart.
What did he say wrong?
What did he say wrong? But prove. And this is Jewish. This is what? Our Living Bible?
Yes, sir.
Where are you in Our Living Bible? You ain't living. You're dead. That's why your skin is dead. That's why you have no pigmentation. That's why it's called Esau. Wasted away this heat. You're dead. Go on.
Hey, Cap. Dead on spot. Real quick. Can I just bring 3 verses out real quick? Dead on spot. Baruch 4. Baruch 4. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Our Living Bible. We seen these images in Our Living Bible, and we have the book of life. And what does it say?
Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever.
Right.
All they that keep it shall come to life.
That's what we're seeing right now. We are coming to life and revealing our identity and showing that Amlak are liars. Read.
But such as leave it shall die. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it.
Turn thee, O Jacob, because this knowledge was belong unto us from the very beginning. Through captivity, we lost that knowledge. The book of life is telling us to turn back onto this book. Read.
Walk in the presence of the light thereof.
That's it. That mean we what?
Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
When we saw that skit just now, when what was the in the tombs?
Richard Pryor.
When Richard Pryor got the information and he was enlightened, the illumination of truth, what they did, they closed the tomb and said it was tea time. That's what we seen right now.
They said get the bulldozer.
Get the bulldozer.
Damn.
Leave that nigga in there.
Yeah, kill him too.
Because he's coming to life. He's coming back to life. Why? Because he's in that book.
Right. Because they don't want this history to get out, man. They don't want you to know that you the God, you the top G's of the earth.
That's right.
They don't want you to know that. And just like in Florida, Deacon Malachi spoke on it yesterday. In Florida, they passed a law that the governor of Florida passed a law. They don't want no black history coming out in the school system now.
Yep.
So this is what we up against, man.
Either that, or they say that we came here to look for jobs from Africa.
Right. Migrated.
Yeah.
No black history, but transgender
all over the place
can be pushed.
Exactly.
What the hell is this?
So now, can we read it to the right? Can we read to the right? Just in case people say we're lying.
So Joseph found favor in his sight and attended him, and he made him overseer of his house. The blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in his house and field.
Black people, and don't get angry at us. Don't get mad. Your scholar's the one that documented it. Listen, I can't afford the ticket to Egypt. Right. So I didn't make this up. I didn't take a picture and say this is Joseph. I can't afford the printer company press to print out these images and the wording. Yours people did that. Blame yourself. That's it. God says he will allow his tongue to fall upon their own self.
Right.
You're going to tell on yourself. You're going to tell and reveal because you thought that we weren't going to go into the libraries, into the Jewish civilization section. You didn't think we was going to do that.
Right.
Now, let's get Genesis chapter 42, verse 6.
Genesis chapter 42, verse 6. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land, And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew him not.
Joseph knew his brothers, but they knew him not. Why is that? And how is that? That if the Israelites were supposed to be a Caucasian race of people, the Egyptians were supposed to be a Caucasian race of people, they were supposed to be able. Why didn't he know him? So Joseph knew his brothers, and they knew him not. You know why? Because Joseph was black.
That's right.
Joseph looked like the Egyptians.
Yep.
So that's why they didn't know him. Now, if the Egyptians were white, that like they claim, because they were saying that the Egyptian history is Eurocentric. If that's the case, and the confusion comes in with Ptolemy dynasty, if you guys stick around, like I said, we're going to go into all that history. We're going to unveil all the mysteries of that history. If that's the case, if Joseph was a Caucasian, it would have been easy. Say, oh. But now, let's go on.
And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come.
Now, can we get the next war relic in the Latina catacomb? Can you zoom in at the bottom? Then we're going to go to the top. Go on.
Joseph talking with his brothers in Egypt.
So Joseph talking to his brothers in Egypt. Let's go down.
Oh,
now let's
man.
zoom in. Come
Yo,
on.
come
Yo,
on.
stop it. Stop the cat.
On, man.
Come on now.
Hey, that fire did a number on their skin.
Yeah. Throw the towel in.
Wait, hold
Throw
on.
the towel in.
Yo, Cap, don't we teach anything you put in an oven turns black?
Mm-hmm.
So if this was burned, how come the garment is not black?
Right.
Hey,
So you mean that thing was burnt and only the faces, the appearance of the skin got burnt and turned black?
Just a surrounding wall.
Yeah, the devil's alive.
That's like brass burned in the furnace.
Look at his hair. Look at his hair. That's a fro.
It's not falling down to the shoulders.
Exactly. It's not falling down. It's standing up. Kinky. Negro hair. Black. Now, minimize it. Now let's go to, it says Joseph was talking to his brothers.
Gravity-defying hair.
Exactly. Now go down. Zoom in. Oh, come on. Zoom in. Come on. Woo!
That's Manny.
Come on. That's Manny right there.
Swarte
Oh,
Pete.
snap. Officer Manny in the front.
Look at that.
Black.
Wait. Hey, can you zoom in with the, do you have the magnifying glass? Huh? Oh, Lord. Can you download the app for that? All right, go. Look, can you point the arrow? Look at that. Bruh, that's a Negro. Look at the nose, the eyes, the hair, the brows. Let's go over. Go to the next person. It's hard to see that. Look at that.
All of them.
All of them. Every single one of them. Clear, distinctive Negro traits. Undeniable.
And his uncle.
Somebody on the comment said the fire is selective.
Right. Hey, when Christ come back, it sure will be. Yep,
Hey.
it will be selected.
They took you know what it is? They say, well, the fire that came and burned the wall relics, that's the fire from Wisdom of Solomon. The fire that didn't melt ice. That's the fire.
It forgot his nature, right?
Yeah, right? It forgot his nature. All right. Now, let's go to Exodus 1, verse 1. And like I said, there's a lot that we want to go. There's a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to, like I said, we're going to come to a little bit of a conclusion because, like I said, we're going to start the next chapter next week.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin. Dan and Naphtali. Gad and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty. And the land was filled with them.
All right, let's get the next image. So now this is us, like I said, making Joseph was already there. Once there was a famine in the land, we migrated to the land of Egypt. and we were placed in the land of Goshen. So now this is the great migration from Israel to Egypt. Can we zoom in? Like I said, once again, this from the Latina catacomb and the unknown catacomb. Early Christian discovery. Zoom in more. So this is us making our appearance. Now, is there any, okay, actually, let's go to the words first before we get into the details of the picture. Okay, zoom, okay, now go to the right. Let's see what this image is, just in case people think we just made this up. Let's see, go to the right. Come on.
That's good, that's good.
That's the very top?
Go to the very top.
It's cut off.
Let's see, is that one on one? Go down. Wait, stop. The intersection of B curls it and
Yeah, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what you're looking for?
I think.
Says bringing his children into Egypt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In the intersection B of the Arcosalium and the Lunet is Jacob bringing the children of Israel into Egypt.
Is Jacob doing what?
Bringing the children of Israel into Egypt.
Jacob bringing the children of Israel into Egypt. Now let's go see. What did Jacob look like, and what did the children of Israel come into Egypt look like as well? Let's see. Did a fire burn them as well? Oh, look at their hair texture.
Dang.
Let's zoom in even further. Come on now. What is that?
Wow.
Dark-skinned, woolly-haired Negroes. Now let's go. Migrate upwards. Let's go up. Go. Keep going. Yeah, come on. Right there. Yeah, zoom in. Look, go down a little bit. No, come on. Go. Yeah, right there. Look at that. Look, yeah.
Yeah, get all of that.
Look at that. Look at that hair. Look at that skin. Come on, get all of that. Yeah, they made it hard to see. I know. Keep going up. Look, come on. Stop it.
Even darker shades.
Come on, man. Hey, y'all ain't gonna like us after this.
Nope.
Look, we going in depth into Egypt.
Exactly.
Like never before.
Mm-hmm. So, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna stop there, and only reason why I said we're gonna stop there, because we're gonna go a lot more in depth than we did today, and we're gonna uncover all the lies that's been taught in our school system, that's been taught globally in the world, and like I said, the lies that they're portraying, pushing through the media, that you have the Ishmaelites. I'll say it again: you have the Ishmaelites, not the Egyptians, and we're gonna show them when they inhabited that land too. Oh, they're not off the hook. We're coming after everybody. We're coming after Esau. We're coming after Ishmael. We're coming after Moab.
Right.
We're coming after everyone. Nobody's safe in this realm. So we're going to go further in depth into that history and leading how the Ishmaelites conquered and took over the land of Egypt. All right, brothers?
Announcements.
All right, all praise to the Most High. Let's give a round of applause for the great class, for the truth springing forth from the earth. Don't forget to subscribe to our Hidden History Radio on YouTube, also IUIC Philadelphia, and also IIC Philadelphia in the classroom. If you want to donate, if your heart desires, donate to PayPal. Put OHH in the notes section and donate it to IUIC.Philadelphia@IsraelUnite.org, and also donate to the Booster Club. We can't keep saying this enough, that your funds, not everybody's going to be able to go out there themselves, but your funds help the truth push forward to get and gather the children of Israel around the earth. So to the Booster Club, you're going to put fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. And last but not least, subscribe to IUICTV to get exclusive content from the leadership of IUIC.
And also, like I said, we'd like to shout out the kitchen team for the beautiful breakfast that they always display for us. Without them, they take care of us, and IT team, definitely the IT team. The brothers put in extensive work. Brothers just came from New York. They came right back, to assist us in making the show come forth. Excellent job. We appreciate you. Without you, we can't do it. We also thank the brothers, like I said, behind the panel, everybody that's involved.
All praise.
It's more than just us putting class together and bringing out the books. It's a collective effort to be able to present this as a clean glass of water to everybody that's listening. And please help donate, like I said, to OHH radio show, like the brother OCI Kim was saying. You help us get these books. All these books, like I said, is because of you. And the more help you assist us with, the more books and records we unveil, we reveal, and like I said, and we feed you with. All right? We'd like to thank all the brothers on the panel. All praises to the Most High.
Right.
Okay.
Want to give thanks to the viewers online, you know. Hey, let's get the likes up, man. Let's continue to get the likes up, all right?
And let's give all praise to the Most High, to the leadership, the Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Yasa, Bishop Kanai, all the deacons for teaching us this wealth of knowledge and information. Without them, like I said, without the grace and mercy of the Most High, we are nothing.
Oh, praise.
All right? Israel, shalom. Most High in Christ bless.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.